Hey everyone, welcome back to two more cast news. I'm Nick, and today we're diving into the thrilling recap of the 2025 Yamaha Rightwaters Bassmaster Kayak Series Championship, scored by Attorney X. Attorney X has done a great job, by the way, which went down on March 20th at Lake Fork in Yantis, Texas. This event turned into a wild one-day shootout, and the top 5 anglers earned a spot on the Bassmaster Classic stage at Dickies Arena in Fort Worth on March 21st. We've got the top 5 results, a massive big bass to talk about, and a new champion crown. So grab your paddle and let's get into it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. I think I'm gonna continue doing this, the Bassmaster Kayak series, the some other series along the way too. Try to get into some boat things, but boat world, man, there's just a lot of negativity going on over there. I don't know what to deal with all that, but it's besides the point. Let's get into it. First, let's set the stage. The 2025 Yamaha Rightwaters Bassmaster Kayak Series Championship brought together the bass kayak anglers in the nation of Lake Fork, a legendary bass fishery known for its monster largemouth, you'll see later. Originally planned as a 2-day event, but day 1 on March 19th was canceled due to high winds. It was a good call, turning this championship into a 1-day, 11-hour shootout on Thursday, March 20th. That meant the pressure was on. Anglers had just 1 day to submit their best 5 bass to the Attorney X app in a catch photo release format. The stakes were massive. Not only was the championship title on the line, but the top 10 anglers also earned a chance to be honored today, March 21st, as the Bassmaster Classic stage at Dickies Arena in Fort Worth, Texas. The weather on Thursday was still challenging, with luring winds and chilly morning temps warming up to the 70s. But these pros are ready to battle out and chase those Lake Fork giant. Before we get into the top 5, though, let's talk about the big bass of the tournament, a true Lake Fork giant. The honor goes to Ewing Miner from Virginia, who hauled in an absolute monster measuring 24.25 inches. Can you believe that? That is a giant fish on the day that he needed it the most, probably, you know what I mean? But this largemouth was a sight to behold, with a massive girth and the classic Lake Fork green hue. Ewing caught this beast during the 11-hour shootout, and you can imagine the adrenaline pumping as he got on the board and submitted it to Attorney X. That 24.25 inch Gentry not only earned him the Big Bass Award, but also secured a spot in the top 5. That's good. That's an accomplishment in itself, man. But Lake Fork is known for producing giants, and Ewing's catch is proof of why this fishery is so legendary. Let's give a huge shout out to Ewing Miner for that incredible fish, dude. What a journey, being 24.25 inches. Man, I reached out and asked him how he caught. He said he was fishing a jerkbait through timber off a secondary point, and this happened just after noon. So midday fish, an absolute giant chilling in the timber, chomping on some bait fish. Jerkbaits, man. Jerkbaits lead the way. Now let's get to the results, man. We're counting down the top 5 anglers from this intense 11-hour day on the water, starting with 5th place. In 5th place, we have Gene Jensen from Georgia with a total of 105.75 inches. Gene's also known as the Flip Master on YouTube, man. He's been around a long time. He's just getting into the tournament scene and doing a really good job at it. But he brought in 2 22.25 inch bass that stayed consistent with nothing under 20.75 inches. That's a solid bag on Lake Fork. Mr. Jensen has been on an early season tear. He's finished 7th place in the Bassmaster Kayak Series in the Kiss Me Chain in Florida at the beginning of February. Then taking 4th place with 106.25 inches is Ewing Meyer from Virginia. We just talked about his 24.25 inch monster, the biggest of the tournament, and it anchored his limit. But his 19.5 inch fish held him back just a bit. Still a phenomenal showing to secure the top 5 spot. But in 3rd place, the 106.75 inches was Bennett Nall from South Carolina. Bennett's bag was super consistent, with 23.5 inch bass as the biggest and a 20.5 inch fish as the smallest. He had 4 fish over 21 inches. Dude, that's a day and a half. And it's absolutely incredible. What a performance. Bennett's has a track record of finishing inside the top 5 of championships. He placed 5th in the 2024 South Carolina Bass State Championship. And good luck to him on his journey for the 2025 season for South Carolina. I reached out to Bennett with a couple questions, man, and he had this to say. I had to make major changes because I never found anything in practice. I caught 1 keeper in 3 days of practice. I knew to win I needed a giant bag, so I was searching for a school, staging to move up, or feeding, knowing that was the only way I could win with 2.5 hours left in the tournament. I was lucky enough to stumble upon a really magical school in the last 2 hours. I knew it was going to be close from the 6 p.m. update Steve did, but I was confident that I had a top 5 finish when it was over. That is insane. I mean, you got to remember, too, it was an 11-hour day, so you really have to rely on your equipment for an extended period of time. I think most tournaments were around 6-8 hours a day, but because they got switched from a 2-dayer down to a 1-dayer, they extended the hours to an 11-hour deal. And he had this to say about his equipment. He said, "I have to add that my Newport vessel's NK300 was key to performing so well in such a long tournament. Without it, I would have been too wore out to have the mental edge to make good decisions in the last hours of the tournament." Just one of those things to keep in mind too, man. If you're out there, these things happen, you got to be prepared for anything. 11 hours, that's a long day too. I don't think most people realize that. Obviously, the people that fish tournaments know what I mean as far as like a spectator, like 11 hours fishing. Probably go by pretty fast, actually. Now that I think about it, that was a long time. I don't think I'd spent less than 11 hours in the water. And as far as what he used to get his third place finish, he said, "The magic deal I found was a large wind-blown point near the main channel. I was just casting a Rapala lipless in 4 to 8 feet of water, and they just kept biting. I made the same cast for almost 30 minutes. I caught 5 fish off the spot, and every single one was over 20 inches. It was one of those deals you can only dream of, and I still can't believe it happened after such a tough practice." That's crazy, man. But his never give up attitude saved him, man. He just stayed mentally focused. That's impressive, dude. To catch all your fish in the last 30 minutes, catching 5 fish over 20 inches in a half hour. It's a giant school of giant fish. Crazy, man. But cats off to him for keeping this cool and just working. In second place, also with 106 3/4 inches, is Joshua Deal from Georgia. Joshua had a 5-fish linear anchored by a 23.5-inch beast, his biggest of the event. The smallest fish was 17.5 inches, showing how tight this competition was. It came down to a tiebreaker with Bennett, but Joshua just missed the top spot. Josh has won the Georgia Bass Nation Series Championship 2 years in a row, in 2022 and again in 2023, and will be chasing this title again in the 2025 season. And I reached out and asked him a couple questions, man. This is what he had to say. "Did you make any adjustments due to weather conditions?" "Yes, fish were fickle, moving baits were a struggle. They wanted it slow, and air temps were 38 to 40 degrees the morning of the tournament." That is super cool. And then I asked him about how close the race was. And you and Bennett and all were tied at the end of the day, and Ewing Minor was only a half-inch behind. "Were you aware during the tournament how tight the fishing was going to be?" "Yes, I was aware. Not on the water, but shortly after there was chatter in the 6 p.m. leaderboard release. A lot of times they shut down the leaderboards, so no one really knows what's going on, exactly what's going on. So yeah, that chatter makes sense. That's how they do it. At least around here. When we get to the last couple hours, they just shut the leaderboard off, and it's all blind, man. You're just going at it. And it does cause a lot of speculation. It's funny, though. It's just part of the sport. It's a good time. It really is part of it. It used to drive me nuts, but it's just part of what it is. And then I asked, "Did you find a pattern early and stick with it, or did you have to adapt throughout the day?" He said, "I did not find my fish in my bag till early afternoon. I found bucks on the edge of the drain and made adjustments to find the females queuing. I stuck with this all afternoon. They were basically in the same area the size of a football field. Pretty contained. Staying close to the drain itself. Those fish will probably push up today or tomorrow." By push up, it's push up to like the spawn to get on beds, or at least check the beds out. Push up shallow, that's what he's saying. And Josh also added that practicing the events with my trailer put me in a difficult place. I had to go into an area that I fished and had some history with, and fish the moment and figure it out on the fly. That's professional. I knew what fish should be doing and where they should be. Just had to get the bites to dial it in." What a day, man. Finished second place. Allowed him to he had to change his plan. That's kind of wild, too. And your 2025 Bassmaster Kayak Series champion, coming at number 1, is Wyatt Hamilton, North Carolina. Wyatt put together an incredible one-day total of 111.25 inches with a 5-fish limit. His biggest bass was 22 3/4 inch tank, and he stayed consistent with fish over 22 inches across the board. Can you imagine a whole day of 22-inch fish? Oh my goodness, man. I've never had a day like that. That's incredible. It's that Fort Hood stuff, though. Fort Hood. Lake Fork. My bad. But Wyatt's strategy clearly paid off on Lake Fork, as he's walking away with the title and spot on the Classic stage. Congrats to Wyatt, too, for sure. Wyatt started off the 2025 season with back-to-back wins. His first win in the Yak Attack Team Kayak Series just a few weeks ago. What a start to 2025. But what a leaderboard. These top 5 anglers brought their A game, and Lake Fork delivered some serious fish. Break it down a bit. Wyatt Hammond's win came down to consistency. He didn't have the biggest fish of the event, but his smallest fish was 21 3/4 inches, and that made all the difference in a one-day shootout. Joshua and Bennett were tied at 106 3/4 inches, with only a half-inch separating them from Ewing Minor in 4th. This shows how tight this competition was. Super close, super tight, man. It's like the weather just kind of squared everything up. And we can't forget Ewing Minor's 24 1/4 inch largemouth, the biggest fish of the tournament, a true highlight of the event. Lake Fork is known for big bass, man, and these anglers proved it. Even with just one day to fish, the prestigious 100-inch mark would land you in 16th place in this event. It says a lot about the quality of fish in Lake Fork. It's also worth noting the diversity of anglers here. Competitors from North Carolina, Georgia, South Carolina, and Virginia all made the top 5. Kayak fishing is growing, and this event showcased talent from across the country. The fact that all these anglers had 5 fish limits in just 11 hours speaks to the quality of fishing on Lake Fork and the skill of these competitors under pressure. And there you have it. The 2025 Yamaha Rightwaters Bassmaster Kayak Series Championship recap. White Amateur Champion, and all those in the top 5 anglers were on day March 21st, the Bassmaster Classic stage at Dickies Arena in Fort Worth, Texas. What do you think of the event? Who's your favorite kayak angler? Do you have a favorite? I'm a fan. I'm a fan of most of them. I mean, I can't even point out one I don't like, honestly. Yeah, I continue to learn and continue to grow names. Sport's fun, man. It's fun just sitting back and able to watch. Let me know in the comments below if you have a favorite, or first you watch. Maybe you are an angler. Who knows, man. If you enjoy this recap, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe for more fishing content, and I'll see you on the water. Until next time, later.